In India, family is everything. It's your safety net, your identity, your legacy. Children are taught to respect their elders without question, to trust them blindly. And so, when 19-year-old Mina Singh went to live with her uncle's family in the small town of Sultanpur, no one raised an eyebrow. It was tradition, it was safety, it was home. But what no one knew was that the very man who promised to protect her, the man who once held her in his arms as a baby, was about to become her predator. This is the story of how trust turned into obsession, how love twisted into control, and how a sacred bond ended in brutal murder. Ramesh Singh, 38, was the elder brother in the Singh household. A married man with 2 children, he worked at a grain store, spoke softly, and had the kind of reputation that made people greet him with folded hands. Mina, his niece, had recently moved into their home to pursue college in town. She was smart, graceful, and full of dreams. She wanted to become a teacher, to uplift girls from rural areas, to build a life that mattered. In every way, she was the pride of the family. And Ramesh noticed. He noticed the way she walked, the way she laughed, the way she slowly became a woman. At first, the affection seemed innocent. A new pair of sandals, a ride to college, chocolates from the market, compliments laced with meaning Mina didn't yet understand. "You're more mature than your age," he'd say. "You're different from other girls." She didn't see the danger. In a culture where elders often dote on younger relatives, his attention didn't seem unusual, but it was grooming. Slowly, methodically, Ramesh began to control her. He asked who she was texting, warned her against college boys, told her she could always talk to him about anything. When no one was watching, his gaze lingered. When the lights were off, he lingered outside her room. Then, one night, everything changed. It was late, the house was quiet. He knocked softly on her door and said he just wanted to talk. Mina, confused but trusting, let him in. What happened next was never fully spoken aloud, but Mina's silence in the following days spoke volumes. She grew distant, anxious, but she didn't tell her parents. Who would believe her? This was her chachu, her protector. To accuse him would tear the family apart, and in Indian homes, breaking the family is a sin worse than suffering in silence. Ramesh knew that. He depended on it. The affair, if one could call it that, continued. Secret, toxic, one-sided. It wasn't love, it was power. He used her shame as leverage, reminded her she would be blamed, that she had no one else. And for a while, Mina endured it. But deep down, she was changing. She began to distance herself. She stopped responding to his messages. She found happiness again in the arms of a boy her age named Ankit. They met in college. He respected her boundaries, listened to her dreams, held her hand with care, not control. With him, Mina felt human again. When Ramesh found out, he was enraged. He accused her of betrayal. "After everything I've done for you," he shouted, "you're mine, Mina, mine." The messages turned darker, threats of suicide, threats to hurt Ankit, recordings where his voice cracked from obsession. "If I can't have you, no one can," he warned. Mina begged him to stop. She told her father she wanted to move back home, but her father dismissed it. "No one can protect you like your chachu can," he said. The irony was cruel. The man she feared most was the one everyone trusted most. On July 12, 2023, Ramesh called Mina. He was calm, too calm. He asked to meet her one last time. "Just to talk," he said, "for closure." Mina, perhaps hoping to finally end things peacefully, agreed. She was never seen alive again. That night, he drove her to an old sugarcane field outside town, a place where the crops grew tall enough to block screams. What happened there was quick, brutal, and silent. In his confession, Ramesh said he begged her to come back to him. She refused. "I saw her looking at me with disgust," he said, "and I just snapped." He strangled her with his hands, slowly, methodically, as if ending her life was the only way to silence her rejection. He buried her body in a shallow grave and threw her phone into a canal. 2 days later, a farmer found her. Her hands bruised, her scarf twisted tight around her neck, her ID card still in her bag. The town erupted in grief, cameras flashed, reporters swarmed, but Ramesh cried at her funeral, held her mother, consoled her father. He even lit incense at her grave. But the lies began to unravel. Ankit came forward with hundreds of messages. Mina's friends revealed the truth. The police recovered deleted data from Ramesh's phone, photos, voice notes, threats, and a digital diary of obsession. The evidence was damning. He was arrested within 72 hours. In court, he showed no remorse. "She used me," he said. "She belonged to me." His wife collapsed in court. His children wept. Mina's father sat in the back, silent, broken, destroyed. The judge called it a crime of unthinkable betrayal, sentencing him to life imprisonment. But no sentence could undo the loss. Mina's parents moved away, unable to live among the memories. Ankit dropped out of college. Her friends started a scholarship in her name, so that no girl with dreams would be silenced again. This is not just a story of murder, it is a story of silence, of how family honor is sometimes placed above justice, of how girls like Mina are taught to respect their elders, even when those elders destroy them. She tried to speak, she tried to escape, but the walls were too thick, the whispers too quiet. And now all that's left is a photograph, a smile frozen in time, a life that should have gone on. If Mina's story has moved you, don't let it fade. Speak her name, share her truth, and remember, the most dangerous predator is often the one you're told to trust. Like this video if her voice deserves to be heard. Subscribe to Netflix Crime Story for more real, heartbreaking, true crime cases that expose the darkness behind the doors we're told to keep shut. And in the comments, tell us, how many more girls will suffer in silence before the world finally listens?